Welcome to the Wear Wag Repeat podcast. I'm Tori Mystic, here with my dogs Lucy and Bert. Together, we're interviewing cool, creative women entrepreneurs in the pet industry. Do you dream of working alongside your dog? Then sit, stay, and listen to the latest episode to find the inspiration and resources that will help you grow your own dog-inspired business. On this episode, we're diving into some product development and manufacturing talk. Do you have a dog product somewhere in your imagination that you'd like to make a reality? This interview will help you figure out how to do that. We also talk about the importance of being available for your customers, whether that's by DM, email, or phone. Communication is an important part of entrepreneurship. Before we dive into the interview, I want to remind you that this February, I'm asking you to share how much you love this podcast by leaving a review in Apple Podcasts. At the end of the month, I'll pick one reviewer to win a $50 gift card to the Wear Wag Repeat Shop. Pretty sweet. To leave a review, just open the podcast app on your phone. It's a purple icon. Search for Wear Wag Repeat. Click on the photo of me and Lucy, then scroll down towards the bottom where you'll find reviews. I promise it only takes a few minutes. I'll love you for it, and you could win a fabulous prize. Okay, now on to the episode. Marilyn Pianelli has spent many successful years in finance and sales and is now enthusiastic about her most recent venture as an entrepreneur in the pet industry. Marilyn is currently the director of broker-dealer and institutional sales at Alternative Executions while pursuing her brand, Headlight Harness, an innovative and game-changing product for pet owners. Based in New Jersey, Marilyn and her husband, Peter, originally created their light-up harness for their own dogs, but it quickly became apparent that it filled a giant void in the pet industry. On every walk, she would be stopped by people asking where they could get a headlight harness of their own. Now it's illuminating dog walks around the country. Hi, Marilyn.
Hi, Tori. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you and learn about the headlight harness. Can you tell us what it is?
Well, it's a dog harness and also, a cat harness. And it has an LED light that's integrated into the chest of the harness. It also has 4 points of adjustability. So once your dog is fitted correctly, your dog can't get out of. And that's a big, problem. A lot of dogs are Houdinis. So we wanted to make it that, your dog cannot get out of it. It's also reflective all around. So no matter which way you're standing, a car could always see you. The light also scares away all animals. So it's possums, raccoons, skunks. I wouldn't say a bear. I wouldn't say walk, go right up, with your dog to a bear and be like, oh, I thought, it would scare away every animal. But all the little animals, we get a lot in Jersey, so it does scare away that. It also has 2 points of places to put your leashes in the front and in the back. So how you're training your dog, if they're a leader or a follower, no matter which way you want to train your dog, we have the hooks for the leash. And it has a big handle in the back, so you could use it to hold your dog, to help your dog up, the stairs, or to use it in the car. You just take the seatbelt right through, put it right through the hook. The handle in the back, and click your dog in, and your dog has a safe, enjoyable ride.
Wow. I didn't realize that it had so much extra functionality because I've looked at your website and everything, and I've seen the headlight on the front and all the reflective straps and lining and piping, and it's very, very visible at night. Yeah. But I didn't realize it's so awesome that you also just made it like an incredibly useful harness with the extra hooks and the extra handles and straps and things like that. It's really thoughtful.
Yeah, when we were making it, we talked to a lot of, friends that have dogs, a lot of trainers. And we wanted to make it the most versatile harness on the market today. We didn't want you to have to get, the harness plus 25 other things that you need to attach to it. We want when you're out for a walk, not only are you safe, but it's easy to go out for a walk now. Or if you want to take your dog to a vet or a park, it's super easy. You don't need 25 gadgets with you.
Yeah, I could totally relate because, I live in Pittsburgh and you're in New Jersey, so it's probably gets dark at like 5
Yeah,
p.m.
4. Yeah,
in the
exactly.
winter or earlier, yeah, where we both are, and for a lot of other people who are listening. And so I take my dogs to the park after work, even if it's dark out usually.
Mhm.
And I have light up LED collars for them, but I don't trust those collars to
Yeah.
be the only collar that we use because I just feel like it could be unsturdy or it could slip off or it
Mhm.
doesn't have their tags on it. So I have to like double up their collars when we go to
Yeah.
the park at night. They keep their regular one plus the light up one. And it's just like it's a lot
Yeah.
to have 2 collars and keep track of all this stuff.
And with the collars, you could see them a little bit through, depending on how much fur your dog has.
Hmm.
But, a car can't really see you. Maybe a little bit from the front, but from the back, a car won't be able to see you with the
Yeah,
collar.
and it doesn't have 360 visibility like your product does. Like
Yeah.
before we hit record, I was telling you about a video I watched on your website where the title of the video was "How many dogs do you see in this video?" And it was amazing because I think someone was walking 2 dogs, but only
Mhm.
one was wearing the headlight
Yeah.
harness. And you could really see them from every angle because of all the reflectiveness and the light. It was really
Mhm.
bright and awesome. And when I just use a regular collar, the whole part where the buckle is doesn't have light.
Yeah.
So sometimes when your dog's at a certain angle, even with that, you don't see them. So
Yeah.
there's a
And if a
lot to
dog,
consider.
and if a dog has a lot of fur, those collars you can't even see through them at all.
Yeah. Well, and
So
what's cool about yours is it really like headlight harness is the perfect name for it because it's so descriptive because it really is like a little headlight. So you can actually see where you're walking and not trip and fall on your face at
yeah,
night.
exactly. And you could see what your dog is eating, where
Hmm.
your dog poops. I walk my dog, and all the time, if I look down, I'm like, what is he sniffing? And there's something down there that he shouldn't be eating, and I see it right away with the light. So it really makes such a difference on my nighttime walks.
That's awesome. So, okay, so I know that you created this for your own dogs
Mhm.
years ago. What was that first product that you made like?
Well, it was actually my husband.
Okay.
And first, we were looking for something. We weren't looking to make something ourselves. We were looking everywhere for a harness that my dog can't get out of, and that had an LED light. And I was like, oh, there definitely has to be something out there, and there was nothing out there. So the first one was very interesting that my husband made, but it was still bright, And then as we kept going through the process, we kept adding things like the handle in the back. My dog likes to drive. He likes to sit on my lap and put his paws on the steering wheel and drive. And in Jersey, it's a big fine. And in a lot of other states, it's a big fine. So we wanted to make it with a handle that you could use in the car as well. So we kept, adding more and more stuff to the harness until we found that this is like the perfect one that we wanted to make for other people to use.
So when he first made like, I guess now you think of it as a prototype, but back then it was
Yeah.
just like what you were using. Did he take like a store-bought harness and then add lights and things to it, or were you guys like sewing something in your garage?
We a little bit of both. We sew like we still sew things right now. We
Hmm.
we do the embroidery and stuff, so we're always sewing stuff. We took like a couple different kinds of harnesses, put them together, added some lights. But even then, it wasn't reflective yet. And so I could still see it. I felt a lot safer walking, but cars behind me still couldn't see me. And when we were designing it, that was a big thing. We wanted to make sure that no matter which way you're standing, a car could always see you, because nowadays people are texting, people are not looking, and if they pick their head up for a second and they're a couple blocks away and they see a light on the floor, they're going to pay attention to you,
Yeah.
to make sure that what is that? Why, I don't want to hit that thing, walking. And then when they get close, so many times people are like, "Oh my God, I saw you from a half a mile away," and this is amazing. And
That's
it
so
really,
cool.
yeah, it really made when we first started it. I said, what was I doing for the last 10 years without this? Almost getting hit every single night by a car.
Yeah,
So,
well, you're right. People are so distracted nowadays. And I remember walking back when I had my other dog, so a couple of years ago, and I think we had our light up collars on. It was at nighttime, but an Uber driver like rolled through a stop sign and almost hit us because they're so focused on the map on their phone and
Mm-hmm.
trying to find
They're
who they're
not.
picking up. They don't pay attention.
Yeah.
So, not to generalize all Uber drivers, but people have a lot of distractions on the road.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. And even if, even if we walk with the headlamps on our head, they still can't see the dog.
Right.
So if your dog isn't exactly right next to you, if your dog's a little to the right or to the left, a car could still hit your dog, because then they're looking at you instead of the dog. And, we're all about pet safety and want to make sure that nothing ever happens to our little furry best
Of
friends here.
course. Right. They're like number one priority.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm always really curious when I see people creating something like this. How do you get it made? Because I have a
Mm.
sewing machine at my house, and I'm like, there's a limit to what I could sew
Yes.
up here, and I couldn't make like a huge quantity of things, and the finishing wouldn't be just right. So how do
Mm.
you go about this process of creating something like the Headlight harness and actually taking it to market?
Well, we obviously had to make a bunch of different sizes ourselves, and then we look for a manufacturer, and that took a long time. Um, each manufacturer is different. Each manufacturer is good at certain things. We needed a manufacturer that was good into the LED lights, that could make the quantities that we wanted in the time we wanted, and then you go back and forth with the designs. It takes a long time. It's not, oh, here's our prototype, and then they send it back and you order, a ton and it's perfect. It's not like that. It takes a really long time to go back and forth, keep adding what you wanted. And we're probably in our third different kind of harness already. We keep upgrading it. We keep wanting to make it the best. And I think the last one was definitely the final. We try to add every single touch possible to it.
So if someone's like looking to find a manufacturer, because everyone who I interview says I could like take quotes out from every episode and lay
Yeah.
them over top of each other. Everyone says finding manufacturer is so hard and takes a long
Yes.
time. Do you
Yes.
have any advice for people who are looking to do that?
Do your research. Don't just go to the first manufacturer that's going to give you the cheapest, product, because most likely you're going to get the cheapest product out of it. Look at reviews. Go a step further. Don't just look at, manufacturers.com or something like that to find different manufacturers. When you find a manufacturer that you actually think, then Google their name, Google the salesperson, see if anything, comes up that shouldn't be. If they say this is a ripoff, or these are, we got our products and they were terrible and they were broken, people will write reviews online. It might not be right on those people's website. Obviously, they're not going to have a bad review on their website, but if you do a little, searching and digging, you could see someone is either going to write a good or bad review about that manufacturer, and then see how many employees they have. What, if you're looking to do, just a couple hundred pieces of something throughout the year, you maybe they don't need that many employees. But if you're looking to do, 100,000 a year of something, you should definitely do your research and find out. And there's also companies that do the quality control that will go to the manufacturers if they're overseas, and they can help you, look to see if they're real or not real, and protect yourself. Don't just transfer cash over to someone. Some people are like, oh, just transfer the money and I'll get it for you. Never, ever do that. Go through a website, even if you have to use your credit card. I don't suggest the credit card because of the interest, but if you could pay it off right away, at least the credit card is protecting you. Just don't send someone cash that you've never done business with, because I'm sure a lot of people have done that and never got their money back or never got the product, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there like that. So,
Right. Yeah. It's all about relationships. So I guess if you can, find a manufacturer and get to know them, don't just send your money to a stranger.
Yeah. I mean, the manufacturer I use is great now. We have a great, we talk all the time, and another person in the pet business just reached out to me, like, who do you use? How do I get in touch with them? And I recommended them. So you could also ask other people. It's not people ask me all the time. You can DM me on Instagram or Facebook at Headlight Harness, and where do I start? I don't mind, talking to you and getting back to you and trying to help you. And if maybe my manufacturer can't help, but maybe they know someone that is doing what you want to do.
Sorry to interrupt the interview, but I would love to see what you're doing while you catch up with the Wear Wag Repeat podcast. Take a screenshot of this episode in your podcast player or snap a selfie with your earbuds in. Bonus points if it's on a dog walk, and share it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at TMystic. I'll keep an eye out for mentions, and I would love to give you a shout out from my own account. Okay, now back to the episode. Yeah, that's so awesome. And that's like such a reoccurring theme with everyone I've been interviewing is, just reach out to someone. And I think just being women entrepreneurs in the pet industry, I think that it's just such a wonderful community. We really kind of stick up for each other and stick together and are here to support one another. So there's a lot of Facebook groups too of women in the pet industry that are great to connect with. So yeah, that's great advice. So speaking of social media and all that, how do you get the word out about Headlight Harness?
Well, at first, I wasn't that big into social media. I always had a Facebook, my personal page, but Instagram is such a big part of our social media, and of course, I love Facebook too. But Instagram really shows. So many people will just post after they get their harness. They love it so much, so they're posting pictures and video, and then they're sharing it. And I always try to tag everybody and give credit to everybody that sends me pictures and repost any of the pictures that people send me. And I think that's how people really get the name out, is just keep, when they see other people really happy with our product, like, oh, my dog, looks just like that dog. We have a lot of German Shepherds, like my German Shepherd is exactly the same as that dog. It would look great on it. So we get a lot of people that will share and post. And I think that's really helped us, is definitely word of mouth, reviews that people leave us. And everything I take to heart. I love our family. I consider every single dog member that has one of our harnesses or our products as part of the Headlight Harness family. And I get super excited when people send me pictures. I was at an event this past weekend, and someone bought the harness. 24 hours later, they send me video and pictures of their dog wearing it. It just makes my heart, warm that we're out there trying to protect our animals, and that's a big thing for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that we work in an industry where you can just send people dog photos and it counts as work.
And it always puts a smile on my face, no matter what. We're, like I said, we're all about dog safety and the comfort of the humans. We also want to be comfortable when we walk and not scared that something's going to happen.
Right.
If we walk our dog every single night, and to be scared every single night is not a good thing.
Well, no. And I think what's wonderful is, on my blog, I love to encourage people to find ways to enjoy their life with their dog more. And one of those things is, I go on a lot of walks, and I encourage people to go on a lot of walks, and I take my dogs with me everywhere. But sometimes I don't like to go out at night because it is dark and I just worry. So, if you can walk your dog at night and feel safe, then you're making everyone's life better. The person and the dog.
Yeah. And because, like I said, I always want the comfort. I used to use, and don't be mad, I know a lot of people don't like this, I used to use retractable leashes, and my little dogs used to tie me up around poles and around, and it was good for one, because one liked to run back and forth, but it really wasn't convenient for me. I was always, weary that I'm going to get tied up somewhere around the pole. So we started making our own leashes, and we started making double handle 6 feet leashes that are all reflective. So now when cars pass by, they could also see you holding the leash, and it's all reflective.
Oh, wow. Are those, and you're selling those on your website as well?
Yes. And we make the single handle and double handle, and I love the double handle.
Is the double handle like a short handle and a long one, or is it for two dogs?
They're both, no, it's a short handle and a long
Oh,
handle.
okay.
So if you're at an event and you want to grab your dog real fast, you just grab the bottom handle and you don't have to wrap your hand up. Your hand isn't turning purple anymore.
Oh my gosh, I have had my leash wrapped so tight around my hand before. I know exactly what you mean.
At events, we see people all the time, and like one time I saw a guy, his hand was bleeding, and I said, you can't do this. So he tried our leash, and the handles are all padded inside. They're beautiful and so soft. And he's like, what was I missing all my life? I call it a game changer. Our handle, our leashes as well, because
Yeah.
like I said, I see some people. Why be in pain and uncomfortable when you're walking your dogs?
Yeah. No, it's important to make it enjoyable so that you actually do it more often.
Yeah.
So speaking of walking dogs, I know that you have a dog, of
Yes.
course.
Mr. Mo.
Mr. Mo, tell us about him. What breed is he, and how did he come into your life?
Well, he's an Australian Terrier, and we got him because we had another dog that we rescued. Her name was Spanky, and I worked many hours, and so did my husband in the city. So we were out all day, and we felt so bad leaving her. So we got Mo as a companion for Spanky. And the first day we brought him home, we flew him out here, and he was shaking and nervous, and he saw Spanky and was in love. And they've been best friends ever since. He's an Australian Terrier. He's 11 pounds, and he's definitely a terrier. He likes to hunt. He likes to find things in our backyard. So with the light, like I said, it scares away animals, and that really helps him not bringing back little toys for us at night. The animals see that and run, and he can't catch them. So it does help in two different ways.
Oh, that's cool. So you just put the harness on when he's even just in the backyard at night.
Yeah, yeah, because he's dark. You can't even see him. I mean, I have a fenced in yard, but you can't see where he is. So once you put the light, once you put the harness on, you turn on the light, it's really funny. You see him run around, and you could always see him no matter where he is.
Yeah, very cool. Well, he sounds like a fun little dog to have around.
He's 14 years old now.
Oh, really?
So he's a little older now, but he still sometimes acts like a puppy. He still gets his little energy boost and runs around like crazy and likes to go places and likes to be petted all the time.
Aw.
Yeah.
So tell us, okay, so do you work from home now?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you get to hang out with Mo all day.
All day long, yes.
Do you have any tips for working from home, how to kind of stay productive and get everything done in your business?
Um, Working from home is very difficult because you're also trying to do 1,000 other things besides just your business. Like if your dishes aren't done, or you need dinner, and if you're married, and if you have a kid, there's a lot going on. So you have to really try to say, this is what I'm going to do today, and try to get those things done no matter what. And sometimes it might be at 10 o'clock at night after you put your kid to bed, but try to make a list. These are the things I need to be done today. These are the things, if I don't finish today, maybe I could do tomorrow, but I have lists, every single day. And that's what you really need to do, because it can get very easy to just sit back and do nothing sometimes, especially in the winter months and you can't go places. But definitely, some people like to do it Sunday nights and have a board and say, these are my goals for the week, and try to get that done. But definitely just try to stay productive, and, don't get in that rut of, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Just try to really get, what you need done when you can.
Right. No, and I think that's really helpful to kind of break it down into a month or a week or a day, because when you look at, I want to invent a harness that lights up.
Exactly.
That's pretty daunting. So if you could break
it's
it
not
down.
an overnight thing. Yeah.
Right. If you can break it down into what you need to do today, which is maybe email 10 people or something,
Yes.
then it's totally doable.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I get a ton of emails from every single which way, and we're also on social media. So it does take a while, but I do try to respond. If not, I do see it. It's just sometimes it's just difficult to respond within the 24 hours. But always try to tell people that you're looking, and if people are listening to this, and they do follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and they, reached out to me, I do see it. It just sometimes I can't always respond.
Well, yeah, no, it's overwhelming. There's a lot to keep track of. And like one of the things I struggle with is I just get messages in so many different places. There's like Facebook Messenger, and then like I have, Messenger for my Facebook page, not just my profile.
Yes.
And sometimes I can't remember. I know I got a message from somebody, but I like cannot figure out where I got it.
Yeah, that's really, really difficult because especially on like Facebook, they could send you a message if you're not friends with them, and then it's in like another world. And to try to find, how did I do that last time? It does get overwhelming because just like you, I have my personal, I have my business, I have my Facebook Instagram personal, Instagram business. I didn't know, when I first started Instagram that all these people were sending me messages. And if you're not friends with them, then it's like a different screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that after like 6 months, and I had, hundreds of messages, and all these people are probably like, oh, this person just doesn't care about me. But it's not that. I never saw the messages. I didn't even know it existed until, you start playing around a little more and have the time.
I think it's so common. I also teach Instagram marketing to people, to small businesses, and so many business owners that I talk to don't realize about that. And Instagram has improved it in the last like couple of months or so.
More. Yeah.
Now they'll be like, they think that this person, so they'll put it in your inbox, which is also kind of creepy. But
yeah, exactly.
But a lot of people don't realize about those messages, and there's so many like hidden business opportunities in there. So that's always something good to check out.
Yeah, I mean, if you can, definitely try to look in them. I know it's difficult, like. You'll see a pop-up on your phone, but if you don't go to it right then and there, then it just disappears and you don't know where it is. So definitely try to, look at all that, because sometimes you are missing a lot of opportunity, or just, someone just saying hello or wants to know more about, your product, and you could definitely be missing out on that.
Yeah, it's definitely important, I think, to be available to all of your customers. People want to DM and get a response.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we get a lot of customers through social media. People will just say, how do I order? They don't, because even though they might like your pictures on social media, they don't really know where your website is. People don't really go to, your page, or they just, if there's not a shop now, then people don't know. And, so a lot of times you have to give them the website, even though, they might be following you as a business, but they don't know exactly where to go. So sometimes, you do have to just always keep in touch with people, respond to them. And that's a big
make it really clear to people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, well, speaking of, unfortunately, we have to wrap it up, but tell everyone where they can find you so that they can go and send you a message.
We're headlightharness.com, or you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Headlight Harness. You could also call me direct, 800-597-0171. A lot of people call because I don't know if you saw on our website, but we do embroidery. And we put like dogs' names and do not pet and service dogs. So a lot of people like to work with us to get exactly what they want on the harness.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And if you have a problem with sizing, you could send me a DM or you could call. I always answer. As long as, I'm around, as long as it's not in the middle of the night.
Yeah, right.
So you could always DM me. My name is Marilyn, and I'll be sending you a message back.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Marilyn. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Tori, for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Wear Wag Repeat podcast. You can fetch show notes at wearwagrepeat.com. If you like what you hear, please hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And until next time, we'll see you around the dog park.